I'm not like I want to. I'm just like it's an opportunity. Yeah, it's weird. Well, it's not weird. It is what it is. Alright, so you're it's not like a yeah, no. Everybody say me twice.
We could figure it out afterwards.
They're just leaving here?
Funny.
Hello, Mr. Paget. I didn't recognize you. I like the What did you do?
That. We're over there. For you? All right.
Now I think.
Now, if someone doesn't need their, I'll have them call their chair.
So many.
Right now, you gotta sit. Sorry, they put all lined up in there. Yes, that's right here. Yes, that's right there. Thank you very much. We're excited also. Congratulations. Thank you.
The next couple of days, they'll have one license. I'm not. The next step is final. So I want to play.
That's supposed to run in 5. You're right. You gotta get the sound equipment in first. That's right. You gotta get the priorities right.
Backyard farm, Oh, you did. You came. Oh, okay. I mean, you know, we gotta do all the. We're on top.
Kids are all there.
It's so hot, I know, right? Guess what? You got it there. Because I don't feel very, 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 very bad. Everybody. Wearing the same clothes.
Well, actually, I did something. Over for both scenes, like they did like the first game. No. Yeah, my family got us the team.
We're already, the county room is already on base one. Yeah, it'll be the first team from freshman or so they'll be good for out of the sun.
Just like this. Perfect. Not sunny.
Hey, I know we hi.
You're going to skin. So left versus left. So they're supposed to be the shortest route. So keep the focal point. And as they go their separate ways, they go out of country. I'm going to start the music. You have a guitar? Please sit.
Hi, Hudson. So, I'm really excited to be here today. It's definitely sad that the first time we're seeing each other in all of this is going to be the last time for a while. But it's definitely moments like these that make me really appreciate attending such an amazing little school that's so capable. So before I get started, I just want to thank the school faculty for not only guiding us through high school, but for also guiding us through this process and making this graduation as seamless as possible. You guys are incredible. And we're so fortunate to have you looking after us. You gave us every opportunity to grow, learn, and thrive, even in the worst possible situation. So teachers, for every ounce of pride you feel for us, know the role you played in our lives over the years, and know how you helped to shape us into the people we are. Hudson has allowed for us to experience this moment together and to celebrate with the people we love. And for that, I'm definitely grateful. Thank you all for joining us for this graduation ceremony, and without further ado, I'd like to welcome Mr. Perkinson to the stage for the Heads Welcome.
parents, grandparents, siblings, friends, distant cousins, colleagues, trustees, community friends, members, those of you watching online, I join Nadia in welcoming you to the Hudson School Class of 2020 commencement. First, let me say what a joy it is to see people on campus and to hear the hubbub of school life once again. We teachers miss that. There were days in March, in April, in May when I'd wander the halls, turning the water on and off, flushing the toilets, rechecking the windows, sorting the mail, and watering the plants when the school was far too quiet and far too clean. Thank you for bringing your noise and yourselves today. For today is a day of celebration and joy, a day to pause and cherish. It's a day to look into the eyes of these students, this class of 2020, and remember a past, enjoy this moment, and envision a future. Seniors, you got yourself here. Anyone else who tells you otherwise is full of malarkey. You are on point with a slew of adults behind you. We should recognize the many educators present today and absent who assisted you in that journey. If you are a Hudson School teacher or a staff member, please stand and raise your hand. I want to recognize the many parents of graduates who sacrifice so much to make sure their daughter or son is here today with a wide open future ahead of them. If you're a parent, or if you're representing a parent of a graduate, please stand and be acknowledged. These parents and teachers saw you when you were a kindergartner, who bravely walked into the classroom while they fought back tears. They saw you on stage or on the athletic field when you celebrated glorious success or dealt with crushing disappointment. They saw you joyfully playing with your friends, or they remember feeling your pain as you looked around for just one. They remember when they realized you were no longer the child they thought you were, but instead they fully grasped that you were a powerful, able, confident, singularly and uniquely beautiful young adult. We remember who you were. We honor who you are today. In you, we see the scientist, the artist, the composer, the doctor, the keeper, the inventor, the teacher, the vocalist, the designer, the activist, the stateswoman, the entrepreneur, the linguist, the keeper of faith, and the guardian of hope. We celebrate you today, and we welcome you to this celebration. Parents, thank you for this sacrifice, and thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your unwavering support of your child. Thank you for entrusting your child to us at Hudson. It's been an honor to be of service to you and your family. Graduates, I meant it when I said the first week in January, I really did. I told you that it would be wise of you to slow down the next 6 months. Don't be in a hurry. Presciently, I said, we don't know what is ahead of us. I actually didn't say that. I just made that up right now. But I said, don't be in a hurry. Let's not sprint to graduation. Instead, savor this half year of high school. Enjoy and look after each other. Some have stories. You made history. For as long as you live, you will remember the trials and vexations of the spring of 2020 when you could count on one hand the number of times you left the house. And now here we are at commencement. Each of you is going somewhere special. Each of you leaves the Hudson School with the skills and the willingness to make some part of the world a better place, a more humane place, a more just community. This will take courage. It's the same courage we've been talking about since the day you stepped on the Hudson grounds. The same courage that you individually and collectively illustrated in your classroom, on stage, in between the lines, on the soccer pitch, in your TED Talks, in your senior presentations, and the same courage you embraced when you, along with your teachers, made distance learning happen. You will need courage for this next stage. Living a life of purpose, exploration, service, and discovery in a world that faces a pandemic in global proportions, a massive environmental crisis that we created, a social crisis that attempts to heal the wounds and right the wrongs that are 400 years old, and a leadership crisis that involves the angry allure of spiritless autocracy. Each of you truly gets what Robert Anthony intended when he wrote, "Courage is simply willingness to be afraid and act anyway." Be afraid and be willing to live in that fear while still acting with steadfast conviction and a stout and loving heart. Hudson School has always been and always will be a place where core values like courage, compassion, commitment will carry the day. We know you will take that sentiment with you when you move on into your new lives. For C.S. Lewis reminded us, writing, "Education without values, as useful as it is, seems rather to make a more clever devil." Graduates, you're surrounded by your loving family and adoring teachers at this important commencement. We're proud of you for a myriad of reasons. Feel that pride. Remember that pride for years to come. It's very, very real. We're deeply proud of you. Now, selected by his classmates to speak today, it's an honor to call up Noah Geller.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. I know these aren't exactly the circumstances we were all expecting for or hoping for. So I really appreciate all of you being here this afternoon. I know right now, at least for me, graduating high school can feel somewhat insignificant given the magnitude of the events unfolding around us every day. Even so, I think it's important that we reflect and appreciate this truly special and critical milestone in our education and in our lives. I'd like to start out by thanking all the people it took to make this day possible. Not just Mr. Perkinson and Ms. Walker for arranging this ceremony, which I'm very grateful for, but all the people who made it possible for us to get to this moment. Our parents for allowing us to attend this school and supporting us not just throughout high school, but our entire lives, giving us access to high quality education and helping us through the challenges that arose inside and outside the classroom. To the teachers who work day after day and put so much of their time and effort into educating us and pushing us to grow as scholars and as individuals. To all the family and friends who were there for us in the face of adversity, who celebrated our successes, and whose pride motivated and assured us. And also to Mr. Baker, particularly, for taking on probably the most difficult job in the school and being an invaluable resource. And even though they are no longer members of this class, I'd also like to acknowledge Raina Fay, Lena Marzona, and Dan Jin for the lasting positive impact that they've had on all of us. As we turn our heads to the future and focus on what lies in store for us in college and beyond, I think it's important that we take the time to reflect on our time here at the Hudson School and the memories that we've made here. The late nights spent working on and performing in BTL, the bus rides back and forth to basketball and soccer games, the coffee runs in between classes, the club meetings consisting of only 3 or 4 people crammed into a tiny classroom. These are the memories that even though we may forget some of them, their impact on us will always be visible in how they have shaped us and our character. I can't speak for my fellow classmates, but for me, I think the memories from Hudson that are dearest to my heart are those from Philosophy Club and Ethics Bowl. From coming in as a freshman and not knowing anything about it and being surrounded by these intimidatingly articulate seniors to taking over and running it this year, every year I could see my personal growth manifest itself in my performance as well as my increasing amount of responsibility in the group, and I couldn't be more proud of our preparation and performance this year. And I know these types of memories and this type of growth is common at Hudson, whether it's for BTL, a sports team, mock trial, or any other activity. And I think it's important that we take the time to really reflect on our freshman year selves and realize how much we've grown over these 4 years. When people think back on their high school days, they often reminisce about good times with friends, parties, the school play, and sports games. And while these types of memories are important, some of the most meaningful memories of my high school career took place in the classroom. It wasn't until I came to Hudson that I truly valued my time in the classroom. The unique set of incredibly talented and passionate teachers here make classes feel more like a conversation than instruction. We not only learned skills, knowledge, information, but we learned how to think, how to find our voice, how to engage in productive discourse and meaningful conversation, and how to learn from our peers. Our teachers guided us through our academic struggles just as much as they propelled us to reach new heights in our strengths and our passions, and we truly do owe our success to their efforts. This year, 2020, has made us all come face to face with some of the most daunting and complex problems that we are reckoning with as a society. And if anything has become abundantly clear over these last few months, it's that the skills required to solve these problems don't fall into one category, one discipline, or one subject. As we begin our journeys as adults in this world, it's important that we are able to understand and evaluate the world around us through different lenses, not just quantitatively, not just through historical context, not just through social science or art or literature or philosophy. It's imperative that we are able to use the tools we have gained through our education in each of these disciplines to piece together an accurate understanding of our world so that we can best contribute to the solutions to these problems and have a positive impact on the world around us. And I'm confident that each and every one of us in this class will be able to utilize our education and our passions to leave a lasting, impactful, and positive legacy. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me well? No? Can you hear me well now? Okay, great. So my name is Danila, and from as little as 6 years old, my parents has always encouraged me to give a toast during important family events or other celebrations in order to either celebrate something or someone. Although I'm not living with my parents anymore, the importance of celebration has stayed with me to this day. Today, I want to talk about someone that was not only my teacher during my high school experience, but was also my guide and most importantly, my friend. The lack of selfishness in this person shined bright every single day through his dedication to his students' success in and out of the classroom. Personally, he spent numerous hours with me after school teaching me mathematics so I can advance as fast as I wanted to. These were the times when I just came to the United States and I didn't speak much English, and I was still finding my footing at the Hudson School as an international student. During this process, he was my anchor. And soon I realized that he served this purpose not for only me, but for every single one of my peers. Although my experience with him was unique, I was glad to witness every day how he spent time during his lunch periods explaining some of the material. This individual care put into each student is the reason why us as graduates live in the Hudson School with the love of knowledge. On behalf of my peers and myself, I can say without a doubt that Mr. Eng represents an ideal teacher, not only because of his impressive teaching skills, but also because of his personal qualities, such as honesty, kindness, thoughtfulness, supportiveness, positivity, patience, and many others. Keeping those words in mind, I would like to introduce Mr. Eng to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Danila, for such a nice introduction. So yes, thank you, Danila, for such a nice introduction, and thank you, class of 2020, for allowing me to speak today. It means a lot to me to be chosen to speak to you for such a momentous occasion. You know, when I was thinking about what I wanted to say to you today, it occurred to me that I actually never had you as a class altogether. I've always had you in small pockets, maybe 2 or 3 at a time. And it made me wonder. I was like, why would they want to speak to me? I mean, we never really had a unity as a whole group. But then it occurred to me, you know, a lot of our connection was made in my office. You know, it's a for those of you who don't know, it's a very open concept kind of place. It's a table in the lobby. Yes, you know, so, and it was during those times that, you know, in between classes or during free periods that I could sit down and have conversations with you about math or science, philosophy, psychology, TV shows, anime, video games, all these things that made you entirely unique. A recurring favorite, of course, was how the world was going to end, or one of the many ways in which, you know, it would happen. Yes, but you know, these topics that we would talk about always seemed so mature for your age. You know, it wasn't just a matter of understanding a math concept to get homework done, or talking about global warming because the STEM fair is coming up soon. It was always about like you wanting to know more just for your own knowledge, and because you wanted to make this world a better place. And I was always so impressed by just your determination to really learn that much more. And as I was thinking about this, I was thinking about my time at Hudson. How at that very same office, I would talk to Nancy Couturier, who was my math teacher, who would always take time out of her schedule to speak to me, to give me advice whenever I wanted it, or even during times when I didn't want it. You know, that's what we teachers do, right? We seek to help you when you need it most, and sometimes when you don't even realize you need it. I talked to, you know, teachers like Ari Risa, who taught me how to shoot a basketball, or Mr. Green, who helped me, you know, be comfortable with writing an essay, even though I wasn't comfortable myself expressing my thoughts. These moments really speak to my memory of high school, and I cherish them a lot, because even when I went to college and beyond, all these major decisions that I made in my life, I can always think back to some moment where I had some guidance, and I was always appreciative of that. I want you to remember this high school experience as that, not just through these last 3 months. You're going to hear the class of 2020, the year 2020, and we're going to talk about the coronavirus, talk about the protests, the lack of leadership from our government. But you are so much more than just these last 3 months. And your experience is so much more than these last 3 months as well. I want you to remember those nights, you know, practicing for between the lines, or staying after school for math lab. You know, those free periods, those conversations with your teachers, with your friends, that weren't just about purely academics or getting grades or getting assignments in, but just understanding life and wanting to learn more. I want to talk a little bit today about what's kind of going on in the world, and not in specifics of what is actually happening, but in the way we're receiving this information. You're part of a generation now that's so in tune with social media. You know, I myself am not on TikTok, but maybe you are. And it doesn't take long to see all the ways in which, you know, this world seems to be kind of falling apart. But despite all of that, there are still these moments of, you know, hope. It's so easy to focus on the numbers of coronavirus cases or the riots in the streets. But it's a little bit more difficult to find those moments in which people are helping each other, giving information about how to protest, you know, correctly, how to stay safe, ways in which people are creating masks, you know, and giving them to people just out of the kindness of their hearts. Because at the end of the day, there are more people out there that want to do good than there aren't. Sorry. You know, it can be a little overwhelming. It's every day to wake up, look at your phone, and see all these things that are happening. And to feel this sense of, all right, well, what can I do? How can I make the world better? And this feeling that, you know, you have to do some kind of grand action. You need to rally the troops. You need to go viral. You need to make some video. You need to do something grand in order to have some kind of impact. And that's just not true. You know, it can be as simple as starting in your own backyard. You don't have to go out there and change the world. You can just start by changing your own world. Start with your friends and family. See what they need in order to, you know, see what you can do to help them out. Start with your local community. Go to homeless shelters, food banks, things of that sort. Pay attention to your local government. Vote. A lot of you are 18 now. Pay attention to your local governments, who's running for office. If you want to make change, it starts in your own backyard. It can even be as simple as, you know, just holding the door for someone as they're leaving a restaurant, or just saying hello to someone who seems like they're having a bad day. These little acts of kindness can spread. And I know you all know a lot about exponential functions since I've, you know, belabored the point for the past couple of years, but just that one small change, that one positive influence can spread and spread. And hopefully if we do that more and more, we can build a community that focuses more on the positives of life as opposed to the negatives. I want to finish today just by saying just how incredibly proud I am of all of you. You know, these past few years, these individual moments where, you know, you've spent so much of your own time outside of school, just developing who you are. And I see myself in you. It's a little bit different, you know, in 2008, you know, going off to college, there's a little bit more, I guess, to look forward to in terms of kind of being in a new environment, but there's still that kind of excitement today. You know, there's still so much more to be done in the world. And you're such a mature, intelligent group that I feel fully confident that the world of tomorrow is going to be that much better with you in it. So I look forward to seeing what the world has in store for you. Thank you.
And now we will ask our graduates to come up and take their diplomas and pause for a photo. So if a family member wants to come up, they will be standing right there. First, we'd like to recognize two of our students who could not be with us today. So please give a round of applause for Aiden Baltikoff. Next year, Aiden will attend Drexel University. And Natasha Denisyuk. Natasha is already in California, getting ready to attend the University of Southern California. All right. Simone Bogadal. Simone will attend Pomona College next year. Lindsay DeCavignac. Lindsay will attend Gettysburg College next year. Andrew Ding. Andrew will attend Cornell University next year. Noah Geller. Noah will attend the University of Chicago next year. Cameron Hartshorn. Cameron will attend university in the UK next year. Connor Johnston. Connor will attend Tufts University next year. Calogero Loporto. Calogero will attend Seton Hall University next year. Eliza Myers. Eliza will attend the University of St. Andrews next year. Nadia Narkovich. Nadia will attend Ithaca College next year. Rihanna Riego. Rihanna will attend Bard College next year. Danila Shalaikin. Danila will attend the University of Miami next year. And last but not least, Bear Talgum Cohen. Bear will serve in the Israeli military next year. And now we'll have Cameron Hartshorn with final remarks. Let me put this back on.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and supporting us.
Move closer.
Can you hear me? Yep. We're good?
Closer.
Okay. Closer. I'm like right up next to it. Thank you so much for coming and supporting us today. I think we can all agree that this ceremony has been really beautiful and well put together, and I honestly couldn't ask for more. Hudson, thank you so much for this lovely graduation ceremony. I know that I can speak for all my classmates in saying that we recognize and appreciate all the time and effort that went into giving us an in-person graduation. This recent epidemic has brought forth many challenges, all of which this school has wonderfully adapted to and navigated. I want to thank the faculty for putting so much work into accommodating your programs to the new online learning environment and giving us seniors our last few months in high school. Thank you for supporting us and caring for us, from newly graduated middle school nuggets to young adults on our way to college. Hudson has created an environment in which our class has made friendships that will last a lifetime. For years, my family and friends have told me that my senior year would be a time of great memories and an end of an era, etc., and it has been. But I want to thank coronavirus for making our senior year extra memorable. Seeing my class here today, I know that we've got this. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Hudson School class of 2020, please stand. By the authority vested in me by the trustees of the Hudson School, I hereby confer these diplomas, requesting that all present provide the continued support, loyalty, and love for these graduates and our school. Class of 2020, many have come before you and graduated from our school. You're now part of grand tradition and noble history. Parents, siblings, faculty, trustees, friends here and online, I present to you our cherished and celebrated Hudson School class of 2020. So we're done. They're not. We're going to take some photos because we were not able to take some photos due to March, April, and May, and June. So feel free to stay while we get those photos taken. They'll come back out. Or if you are going to release, go ahead and release. But thank you so much for making this happen. Without you, it wouldn't have happened. So, good day. Be safe.
Thank you. Thank you for everything. Let's see you before I and on. Thank you for it.
And even there's some